Dingity ding ding ding.
The stock market just closed to kick off the brand new trading month of November, and there's a lot to be excited about. Yes, the overall market is this far away from an all-time high. Yes, seasonality is extremely bullish, but if you clicked on this video, there's a good chance you want to know what in the world is going on with Palantir, and it just reported its earnings. Ticker symbol PLTR is a fan favorite for good reason, because it's up 175% year to date coming into today. In this video, I want to break down not only a little bit of the overall market, but mostly what in the world is going on with Palantir. And even though the earnings were very good, it beat. In this video, I want to be breaking down how the short-term bulls, these YOLO degenerate call buyers, well, they probably just got their butts handed to them. Now, I know that sounds a little weird. Palantir beat earnings, the stock is up, so why in the world am I saying that the short-term call buyers are going to be pretty upset when the market opens tomorrow? Well, that's the exact math that I'll be breaking down in this video. But very quickly, before we get to all that fun stuff, if you enjoy these type of stock market breakdowns, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with your grandma. All that type of engagement really helps me get this video in front of other people who might be interested. So obviously from me and the team to all of you, thank you very much. And with that being said, let's roll the tape. Alrighty, to kick off a brand new week and month, here was the official headline when the market closed on the day. Nasdaq closed higher to start November, boosted by Amazon and other AI leaders. So the S&P 500, even though we opened up higher, we did sell off a little bit, still technically green on the day, not that far from the all-time high. Pretty much a similar situation, the Nasdaq here, NDX, yes, both of these still do have active downside gap fills that have not been hit quite yet. I should let you know that Bitcoin's looking a little rough, lower highs, lower lows, currently trading at 106,000. And if you happen to be an intraday trader, you're going to realize we went nowhere. We opened up pretty strong. We sold off, we had a 50% bounce, and then we just went flat all the way into closing. Tesla had a very good day, gaining 2.6%, but obviously the belle of the ball is Palantir, which actually, just as I'm filming this, turned a little bit red. So there is a lot going on today, and this is going to be important to Palantir, so please just hold on for 1 minute as I explain the overall context. The options market didn't know what to do today. We sold off, we popped, we sold off. This is for the S&P 500. The Mag 7 was a little bit stronger, and that's probably because of the news related to tech and the Mag 7, really OpenAI. OpenAI signs $38 billion compute deal with Amazon, partnering with cloud leader for the first time. This once again prompted Amazon to hit another new all-time high. So yes, the AI trade is still the thing, while a lot of these other ones in the Russell 2000, not related to the AI tech trade, aren't doing so well. And obviously that's not being made any better by the fact that the US government is still shut down. According to Polymarket, there's a 52% chance that we go beyond mid-November. Looking at Kohrs right now, they're expecting the shutdown to go once again to mid-November, around 46 days. And unfortunately, this is going to be impacting a lot of people you probably know in your real life. Snap update, Trump admin will pay 50% of food benefits in November amid shutdown. So that's some good news. Of course, this doesn't say 100%, but of course it could also be worse. So I guess I'm attempting to see a little bit of the silver lining here. And on the other side of political drama, let me remind you that last week and over the weekend, it seems like we got some good bullish news related to the whole US-China trade deal situation. If you want to read this, I covered it in more detail in the update video yesterday, but basically China committed to doing all of these steps, generically good. The US committed to completing all of these steps, generically good for both trade partners. That's why going into today, we had a little bit of a gap up, but all of a sudden things got a little funky today, being reported by the Wall Street Journal. Trump officials torpedoed NVIDIA's push to export AI chips to China. President decided not to discuss matter with Xi after aides opposed company's request. So this is a little iffy with the whole AI bubble situation and with the world's biggest company, i.e. NVIDIA, ticker symbol NVDA. So a little bit of question marks there, not necessarily bearish, but people are saying, what in the world is going on? So whether it's the US-China trade drama or the fact that the US government is shut down, obviously please pay attention to all these major macroeconomic events. We have manufacturing PMI and prices. We might be getting the JOLTS job data later this week. Remember, government's still shut down. Later on, we're going to be getting the services PMI and prices. So even though we have some major macroeconomic events, it's not the most exciting week we've ever seen. Which means, fortunately for all of us, we have that much more time to pay attention to what in the world is going on with earnings. Yes, I'm about about to talk about Palantir, I do want to let you know that Berkshire Hathaway reported this morning they have the most cash on hand that they've ever had. And later on this week, Uber, Shopify, Spotify, Pfizer, Hut 8, AMD, Supermicro, Robinhood, McDonald's, IONQ, D-Wave. Feel free to screenshot this. Feel free to go to @eWhispers. Do whatever you want. But like I said, just because there is major government news, it's calming down a little bit, which means that we can dive headfirst into what in the world is going on with Palantir. When the dust officially settled on the day, Palantir did notch a new all-time high around 207, a little bit of change, gaining 3.35%. Right as earnings were released at market close, we skyrocketed all the way up to 222. And as you can see that I'm filming this, we gave some of it back, but we are still green to the tune of 1%. So the first question is, why the bullish reaction? Well, the direct answer to that is it beat on earnings. You can see right here, it beat on top and bottom line. It beat on EPS, it beat on revenue, beat by 24%, 8%. EPS is up 110% year over year. The revenue is up 63% year over year. EPS is up 31% quarter over quarter, and revenue is up 18% quarter over quarter. Those are very good numbers. Here's a breakdown from CNBC. Palantir tops estimates, boosts fourth quarter guidance on AI adoption. So not only did it beat on top and bottom line, but it's increasing its forward-looking guidance. So across the board, a very good earnings. If you happen to be a Palantir investor, this should put a giant smile on your face because the bullish rocket ship is still going to the moon. However, I want to put a key emphasis on the fact that I said a Palantir investor. If you happen to be a Palantir trader and going into this earnings, going into market close, you bought call options, well, there's a good chance you're going to be feeling pain. Of course, if you bought puts, you're going to be feeling pain because the stock's up and it went the opposite direction. I'm talking about calls. I'm talking about the people who made a short-term bullish bet. You're going to be feeling pain tomorrow morning. And the answer to why that is going to happen is implied volatility, really the implied reaction to earnings. Shout out to Spot Gamma for doing a breakdown on this, but right here, the implied move for Palantir at market close was 8.85%, as in the options market was telling us we're either going to go up or down roughly 9%. Well, as I'm filming this right now, Palantir is up, but it's only up 0.5%. And of course, this could change by market open. My point is, it did not move that expected move, as in the volatility is about to shrink, as in you're going to see IV crush. I know this gets a little bit into the weeds of math in the world of options, but it's very important, so let me make this painless. When it comes to the world of options, the value of an options contract, that premium that you pay or buy it for or sell it for, whatever it is, the premium, you have two components: intrinsic value and extrinsic value. Your intrinsic value is how much in the money you are. So sometimes you have none. For example, if you bought the 220 calls on Palantir, you have no intrinsic value because we are not above 220. However, if you bought the 205s, well, right now as I'm filming this, you have about $3 of intrinsic value. That part of the equation is very easy. It's how much of in the money you are. The other part of the equation is extrinsic value, and that's all those fancy Greek terms such as delta, gamma, vega, all that stuff, rho, and you get into the second order, third order derivatives. Basically, it's a fancy schmancy math way to say the probabilities of how much really this might be going in your favor or going against you. And an important part of extrinsic value is volatility. Of course, as volatility is large, you have a greater opportunity for something to happen. However, if volatility gets crushed and starts to shrink, that means you have less opportunity for the equity to either go up or down, as in a less probability of dramatic outcomes. So with that in mind, coming into earnings, the options market was saying, hey, we're expecting roughly a 9% move either up or down. But the fact that Palantir is roughly break even right now means we greatly undershot what the volatility is going to be, which means a lot of that extrinsic value, remember your premium value is intrinsic plus extrinsic, that extrinsic was greatly overvalued. And when the market opens tomorrow, even if we're slightly green, you're going to be losing a lot of that volatility aspect of extrinsic value, which means the premium prices are really going to get crushed. And another term for this, in fact, is called IV crush. So what in the world does this all mean? Well, it means that if you're a Palantir investor, a person who likes the long term, maybe you're dollar cost averaging, it means the rocket ship is still looking good. However, if you're a short-term bullish trader, well, you're about to learn about some vol crush, and tomorrow at market open, unless something dramatically changes on the earnings call right after I film this video, unless something changes, you're going to see that IV crush. And even if we're slightly green, the premium value of those calls are probably going to fall off a cliff. Now remember, don't shoot the messenger. This is just a brutal reality of the math of options trading. And of course, because it involves math, it gets a little bit confusing. So if you have any leftover questions, please leave them in a comment below, and I'm more than happy to try to rephrase it or re-explain it or answer whatever is specifically on your mind. And as always, whatever you choose to do in the world's largest casino, I hope you absolutely crush it. I appreciate the good vibes. I'll catch you in the next one.